after a year of shutdown because of the pandemic. Employers have the legal right to refuse job applicants who are unvaccinated against COVID-19. That's according to President Duterte. The president, who is a lawyer, explains in doing so, business owners are only protecting their investments and other employees. Here's the president in his own words.
You have the right to refuse to accept as an employee of somebody who is not vaccinated and would go and join the rest of the employees in the factory or in a place or whatever workplace that you have as your business. Tapos this guy would start to contaminate everybody. It could mean a loss of stoppage of whatever kung puro nagkasakit na. I think it's legal for employers not to accept people who are not vaccinated.
While he sees no problem with employers not hiring unvaccinated applicants, Mr. Duterte, however, says it would be illegal for business owners to fire employees who refuse to be vaccinated. Justice Secretary Manado Guevara earlier said there is no legal basis for businesses to force employees to receive coronavirus shots. The Labor Department also said employees cannot be terminated just because they are unvaccinated. But for Senator Grace Poe, unvaccinated applicants should not be rejected and instead be offered assistance. Poe calls for more efficient coordination between companies and local governments to give those seeking jobs access to COVID-19 vaccines. She says giving people both the vaccines and jobs will save lives and livelihoods amid the pandemic. The latest data shows there are 4.25 million unemployed Filipinos in September. That is 370,000 more from the 3.88 million in August. The government aims to immunize 15 million individuals during the three-day vaccination drive dubbed Bayanihan Bakunahan. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez says other regions will extend help to those still struggling to administer shots during the event slated from November 29th to December 1st. Schools, gymnasiums, fast food chains, malls, and workplaces will be transformed into inoculation sites so that there is enough space to accommodate all vaccinees. President Duterte urged Filipinos to participate in the program.
Na yung lahat nagpabakuna are heroes. Lahat kayo hero. Yung hindi nagpabakuna, yung mga pangit na bigyan ng problema na.
Nearly 30 million people in the country have been fully vaccinated, while 35 million have received their first dose. Before leaving the country, overseas Filipino workers are getting their COVID-19 doses from the government, but some skipped out because of the vaccine brand. The vaccination drive at the Department of Labor and Employment's main office saw confusion among OFWs after finding out they were getting AstraZeneca shots. Because these require a 3-month gap between the first and second doses, OFWs were afraid it could delay their travel abroad. The Labor Secretary said the allotted shots were from Brunei.
Actually, walang problema ang vaccine para sa mga OFW dahil A1 sila eh. Nagkataon lang kasi na pinadalan ako ng Brunei ng I think 2,000 dosage ng AstraZeneca, and Mrs. Sermonia of Clans requested for immediate vaccination. So agad-agad ay ni-schedule natin yung vaccination ng mga OFWs ngayon na who are scheduled to leave already for their destination.
Labor officials explained to OFWs that they could get their second dose in countries where they would be deployed. DOLE aims to vaccinate 2,000 workers bound for travel abroad. Now, the government buys more syringes as reserve stock so that the COVID-19 immunization drive will not be affected. The World Health Organization earlier advised countries to plan ahead, warning of a possible shortage of up to 2 billion COVID vaccine syringes next year. In a statement to CNN Philippines, Health Undersecretary Mirna Kabutahe said the country has 5.9 million auto-destruct syringes in stock that is compatible with most shots. But Kabutahe added the current supply of 0.3 millimeter syringes for Pfizer doses are not enough. The government has so far secured 44 million of these through UNICEF, including reserve stocks. But deliveries have been late because of a global shortage. 4 million syringes are expected to arrive by the end of the month. As plans to reopen more schools are underway, a group wants students to have free access to housing and transportation. The National Union of Students of the Philippines says this is one way to prevent students from catching COVID-19, particularly those who commute to school. Last week, the government hit the green light on increasing passenger capacity in public transport, citing the decrease in cases.
Nandito pa rin talaga tayo sa point na nagko-call tayo for additional funding para mag-materialize itong mga basic services na ito na mai-provide sa ating mga estudyante na sasabak sa face-to-face classes.
Health advocate Dr. Josh San Pedro also stresses the need for regular testing among teachers and school personnel. He cites recommendations from the World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that monitoring student symptoms is not enough to avoid transmission. But for Education Chief Leonor Briones, regular testing may be, quote, traumatic for young students. The pilot run of limited in-person classes will be done in 120 schools with students from kinder to grade 3 and senior high school. Now, in news overseas, Singapore will require anyone, quote, unvaccinated by choice to pay for their own medical bills if they seek treatment for COVID-19. The Southeast Asian government pays for all COVID-19 related medical bills for Singaporeans, permanent residents, and long-term visa holders. But the country's health ministry says the unvaccinated make up a majority of those requiring intensive inpatient care, straining its healthcare resources. The new policy takes effect December 8th. France will require people over 65 years old to get a third COVID-19 shot to revalidate their health pass. The health pass has been an essential tool in boosting the country's immunization rates, as those without it are banned entry to public transport and other public and private spaces. Several parts of Europe are currently battling new case spikes caused by the Delta variant. Myanmar announces plans to welcome international tourists in early 2022. Officials have set up a website to anticipate tourist interest. Some governments, however, warn the residents to stay away from Myanmar because of COVID-19 concerns and instability in the wake of a coup. A military junta overthrew the country's democratically elected government in February. Coming up on Newsnight, a former police spokesman is taking on a new role as the 7th chief of the Philippine National Police under the Duterte administration. And an ally of presidential daughter and Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte is confident she will gun for the highest post in 2022. Details after this short break.
Love is all about time. Di minamadali ang pagpapasarap. Like the love in every Pure Foods ready to eat. Slow cooked and ready in 8 minutes. Para may time ka sa mga mahal mo. Because love takes time.
Kabilang ba kayo sa mga Pilipino na nahihirapan sa mga transaksyon dahil wala o kulang ang mga valid IDs?
Huwag nang mag-alala dahil narito na po ang PhilSys, ang identification system ng bawat Pilipino.
Para sa Step 1 registration, pumunta lang sa register.philsys.gov.ph para makapag-register sa PhilSys online.
Ito
ang
PhilSys,
PhilSys, ID natin to.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved Nutri-Chunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa Nutri-Chunks.
Discovery Plus has arrived in the Philippines. Your new home of larger-than-life entertainment and unforgettable characters is here. Subscribe now at 129 pesos for the first year. Don't miss out.
This Christmas, gift giving is made easy at Robinsons Supermarket with their easy-to-order Christmas baskets. Here in Robinsons Supermarket, our customers can choose from pre-made, vendor exclusives, a basket for World Vision, and fruit baskets. We also have dessert and platters, which are available in select Robinson Supermarket branches. Our customers also have the option to create their own baskets based on their preferences and liking. We offer a wide variety of baskets for as low as 150 pesos up to 3,500 pesos depending on your budget. Customers can order these Christmas baskets in all Robinson Supermarket branches or online via Go Robinson. For the complete list of the available baskets, you can visit our customer service area or view the online catalog in our official website. Our Christmas baskets are available until January 15, 2022 in all Robinson Supermarket branches. Enjoy a stress-free holiday season by ordering a Christmas basket and spread joy to your loved ones easily and safely. Merry Christmas!
Welcome back to Newsnight. President Rodrigo Duterte names Leonardo Carlos as the new Philippine National Police Chief. Carlos will replace Guillermo Eleazar, who is set to retire on Saturday, November 13th. Malacanang says it is confident he will continue making the PNP a, quote, professional, capable, and reform-oriented organization. Carlos, a member of the PMA Maringal class of 1988, is the current head of the PNP directorial staff. He also served as PNP spokesperson, Eastern Visayas Police Regional Director, and Highway Patrol Group Commander. Carlos will hold the top police post until May 2022, when he is set to retire at the mandatory age of 56. He is the 7th PNP chief under the Duterte administration. The Regional Drug Enforcement Agency in Davao carries out an internal probe into a controversial buy-bust operation in Davao de Oro. Former Davao City Information Officer Jeffrey Tupas was linked to a drug raid on Saturday at a beach resort in Mabini town, where a businessman and 16 others were arrested. In a statement with Rappler, Tupas claimed he left an hour before the raid took place, but the suspects claimed in an interview with news site Newsline Philippines that Tupas was present during the operation, but was released because of her supposed connection to Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte. PIDEA Director Wilkins Villanueva denied this on state television.
Walang Jeffrey Turpas sa target natin during the operation sa Davao de Oro.
Okay.
According mismo kay Jeffrey, nag-attend siya ng private beach party, but eventually umalis sila ng boyfriend niya before na ikasa ang buy-bust operation. So in short, hindi siya kasama sa mga hinuli. This is the first time na nagkaroon ng successful buy-bust operation sa isang private rave party. And our agent should be congratulated for successfully doing it.
Villanueva added the Duterte family has never interfered in any anti-drug operation in Davao. An ally of Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte believes she will run for president after she withdrew her re-election bid. Albay Representative Joey Salceda says he has been in touch with Duterte and that gunning for the vice presidency is not on the table for her. Salceda claims there is a strong chance she will run as the standard bearer of the Lakas CMD, the party of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, instead of PDP Laban, which is headed by her father, President Duterte. The lawmaker adds the younger Duterte would have filed her certificate of candidacy for president earlier, but faced hurdles in her plans.
That is the only logical conclusion to all the gyrations in politics inside the administration. And BP is definitely not an option for her. She wanted to run on her terms. That's something, and that shows, I would say, enlightened stubbornness to a goal. Or unyielding firmness towards a purpose. So she did not yield a single inch. So she's running for president on her own terms.
Salceda first announced in May that Mayor Sara will seek the country's highest post. He says the mayor will reveal her plans before November 15, the deadline for the substitution of candidates. While Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte remains mum on her next steps after withdrawing her re-election bid, presidential hopeful Bongbong Marcos is urging the public to patiently wait for her decision. Marcos, through his spokesperson Vic Rodriguez, says any comment on the matter would be, quote, very inappropriate. But that's amid speculations about a possible Marcos-Duterte tandem ahead of the November 15 deadline for substitution. Another aspirant, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, says he does not care about any political move from the Davao City Mayor. Moreno says he would rather focus on listening to people's concerns than dwell on others' politics. Vice President Leni Robredo yesterday said the political plans of Duterte's children would not affect her bid for the country's top posts.
Tingin ko it can work to our advantage. Dahil mas klaro kung sino ano yung mga pinaglalaban, ano yung mga paniniwala, sino yung mga magkakampi. Tingin ko pag nangyari ito, yun yung magiging resulta na mas magiging defined yung mga linya.
Wala naman akong pakialam sa kung anong gusto nilang gawin sa politika nila. Kami ni Doc Willie tumakbo, nagdesisyon ng maaga, sumali at isinumitan namin ang aming aplikasyon sa taong bayan para maglingkod sa taong bayan. Yung kanila, wala naman kami doon, hindi naman kami kasali ng kanilang politika. Buhay nila yon. Basta kami sa tao muna.
In a tweet, Labor leader Leody de Guzman dared Mayor Duterte to run. In this way, de Guzman says the public can further show their contempt for what he describes as her father's failed governance. Well, what would Sara Duterte's path to the presidential race or any other national post in the 2022 elections be? Our Melissa Lopez is here to walk us through the process of substitution. Melissa, go ahead.
Pia, political parties have 4 working days left to tweak their lineups for the upcoming polls. The Commission on Elections has set a November 15 deadline, that's on Monday, for what it calls voluntary substitutions, where parties are allowed to switch the candidates they are fielding for any post. It's a much-awaited maneuver, especially with presidential survey frontrunner Mayor Sara Duterte suddenly opting out of re-election in Davao City on Tuesday.
He is a regional party. If she is going to substitute, then she will have to join a political party that already has a candidate for whatever position she wants to substitute.
The poll body is also making special adjustments this year and announced it will also accept applications for substitution on Saturday from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon at the lobby of its headquarters, the Palacio del Gobernador in Intramuros, Manila, outside usual office hours. Aspirants must show up before COMELEC and personally withdraw their certificates of candidacy. Their replacements must belong to the same party and should file their own COCs together with a certificate of nomination from their political party. COMELEC says independent candidates cannot be substituted. There are 16 parties which fielded a presidential bet for 2022. And if we remove the groups that are not allied with Mayor Sara, there are about 10 national parties that could pave the way for her to join the presidential race if she so desires. This is the same process that Sara's father, then Mayor Rodrigo Duterte, went through when he ran for president under PDP Laban in 2016. Meanwhile, COMELEC has received at least 91 petitions to stop the candidacies of national bets, including that against presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. Back to you, Pia.
Melissa, do we have any updates on preparations for the campaign and election day itself on May 9th? That's only 6 months away.
Yes, Pia, just this morning, the COMELEC and Bank voted for longer voting hours. Voting will start at 6 in the morning on May 9th and will be open until 7 in the evening. However, Commissioner Marlon Casquejo says that the 7 p.m. time is just the cutoff for people or voters to line up, and that precincts will only close once the last person in the line by that time has cast his ballot. As for campaign guidelines, these are still being finalized, although Casquejo said they are looking to anchor the categories or restrictions for campaigning to the alert level in a certain area or municipality. So if the COVID-19 restrictions are loose in the specific local government unit, more candidates and more supporters can interact in face-to-face campaign events. Back to you.
Melissa Lopez there reporting. Still ahead on Newsnight, cinemas in Metro Manila are finally reopening to moviegoers. Find out which films will be heading to the big screen. And speaking of films, a popular anime series is getting a live-action adaptation. We give you a first look at the cast of One Piece after the break.
ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy? The best! No more questions, Your Honor. Walang duda! Pinaka-tender, pinaka-juicy, at pinaka-masarap. Kaya number 1. Pa-order by the court!
Walang duda. Kids can tell, number 1 ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy.
I'll be teaching you how to make a salty dog, which is typically a vodka-based cocktail, but as a gin lover, we're changing it up to make it even better. For this, you'll need, for the tools, grab your lemon wedge and apply it on the mouth of your glass. Grab your salt and dip in the mouth of your glass to create an even layer. Grab your cocktail shaker and pour your grapefruit juice, your lime juice, and your simple syrup. Lastly, our GSM Premium Gin. We're going to fill our shaker with ice. Now, shake. Get your glass and carefully add in some ice. Pour our cocktail. Then a grapefruit wedge. And here it is, your salty dog made with GSM Premium Gin.
When it comes to my family, I make sure to give them only the best. Meals that are healthy, safe, and flavorful. And that is why I choose Magnolia ready-to-cook chicken templados. It is so easy to prepare. In just 12 to 15 minutes, you can already enjoy this delicious family favorite. All you have to do is preheat your pan with oil. Now, pan fry your Magnolia ready-to-cook chicken barbecue. And if you wish, you can also grill this for about 12 to 15 minutes or until cooked. There you go, and now you can enjoy home-style goodness with Magnolia ready-to-cook chicken templados. Now, each Salyado Sigurado pack is pre-marinated. It is made from fresh chicken. It is so easy to prepare and super delicious. And not only that, but it is also high in protein, which helps boost our immune system. And you can get your Magnolia ready-to-cook chicken templados from Magnolia Chicken Stations. They come in chicken tocino flavor, and they also have the chicken teriyaki. This is so tasty, so tender, super, super delicious. My kids absolutely love this. Now, it's also good to know that Magnolia chickens are raised in a stress-free environment with no hormones, no antibiotic residue, and with omega-3. Ganyan ang alagang Magnolia.
Welcome back. Today, theaters got to see Pinoy moviegoers again after over a year of closure because of the pandemic. Movie exhibitors in the country say they lost 21 billion pesos in ticket sales. They're now trying to recover by reopening some cinemas as restrictions eased in Metro Manila. Chrissy Matulak has that story.
Watching movies is a form of therapy for Lord De Vera. When cinemas closed down temporarily due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Lord needed to find new ways to cope with his anxiety and stress. So when he heard the news that cinemas can now reopen, he was one of the first people to line up and buy a ticket.
I really tried not to watch kasi I want to watch it on the big screen na knowing na may mag-open na yung cinemas. Kasi I'm a fan of watching movies talaga sa cinema, even if mag-isa lang ako.
There are others who are just as enthusiastic as Lord, like this group of friends patiently waiting for their turn to buy tickets.
Masaya kasi pwede na lang manood ng movies yung kasama yung family namin.
Fully vaccinated naman na po, tsaka may social distancing pa rin naman po siguro.
Under Alert Level 2, cinemas can operate at 50% capacity for fully vaccinated individuals. Moviegoers would have to present their vaccination cards before they can buy tickets. In some cities like San Juan, minors aged 12 and up can also watch movies.
Of course, automatic na fully vaccinated adults dapat. Ngunit pati ang minors, nire-require po nila na fully vaccinated.
Inside movie houses, eating is prohibited, and the 1 seat apart policy is being implemented. Face masks should be worn. Despite the steady rise of movie streaming platforms, exhibitors say nothing can beat seeing films on the big screen.
Watching in a theater is still incomparable, no? Especially for the blockbusters movies. We have all the sensorrounds and everything, so we will have all the big titles coming in.
And of course, the screen is bigger compared to your house, no? And at the house, maraming interruption. Dito at least, you can watch for 2 hours, no, relax, and enjoy the experience of watching a movie in the theater.
Even with the implementation of health protocols in cinemas, movie enthusiasts are still happy that things are going back to the way they were. Chrissy de Matulak, CNN Philippines.
As theaters' doors reopen, we give you a look at some of the titles you can already watch today with your mask and face shield on. On the menu is sci-fi blockbuster Dune, which broke box office records upon release, and the sequel to the horror hit A Quiet Place. It arrives in the country nearly 6 months after its U.S. release. The long wait will also be over for fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Black Widow, starring Scarlett Johansson, comes out November 17, and Shang-Chi, the first Asian-led superhero MCU movie, is out on the 24th. Third on the plate is the star-studded Eternals, dropping on the first day of December. For anime fans, here are the faces that will portray the infamous Straw Hat Pirates on Netflix. The streaming giant announced 5 cast members for the live-action adaptation of the hit show and manga One Piece. Iñaki Godoy will play Luffy, and joining him are Mac Kenyu as Zoro, Emily Rudd as Nami, Jacob Romero Gibson as Usopp, and Taz Skylar as Sanji. Tomorrow Studios and One Piece publisher Shueisha are producing the 10-episode series. Carolers may sing Merry Christmas out on the streets again if they comply with health protocols. The Yuletide singing tradition was banned last year to help prevent COVID-19 cases. But this Christmas, Interior Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya said caroling is allowed for areas under Alert Level 2 as long as minimum public health standards are allowed or followed. Carolers outdoors and those listening can take up to 70% of the location's capacity. And if indoors, it would be at 50% capacity with all attendees already vaccinated. It is 45 days before Christmas, and that is it for now. Join me on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Pia Honteveros for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
CNN Philippines Hour sa RPN-DZKI-IRIGA, alas 6